So it's been a long time. So it's been a couple of weeks since my last YouTube video, and so much has happened. As I mentioned before, just a bit of an update for everyone, sort of the cameras and everything that I've been using. I've been using the A7IV, which is over here, which I recently sent in for a shutter repair as I had a shutter failure. So this has finally come back to me. I haven't used it so much since, as I still have my Sony A7C, which I've been using for the majority of my work. I also recently purchased the Sony A7IV, which I'm currently shooting on now. So the reason behind this purchase is my A7III was still getting its shutter repaired, and I needed two cameras in terms of interviews and everything like that. Also was going to look at starting to shoot 4K and 4K 60. And we'll get into a bit about the A7IV and the pros and cons with shooting in 4K and 1080. I just want to talk a little bit about the A7IV, which I've been shooting with the past few weeks. So in terms of what I've shot with it recently, I have shot some real estate, which I've done. I've also shot some sports. I've done photos and video with sports as well as real estate. I've also shot some agricultural videos and photos with this camera. I love this camera so far. It has done such a good job for me. I can see why everyone goes on and on about it. It really is quite the upgrade in terms of video from the A7C and the A7III. So firstly, looking at if you guys would like to upgrade to the A7IV, obviously coming from one of the lower tier cameras, so the A7III, A7C, or anywhere around there. So the reason to do this, let's just first talk about photography. Okay, this is going to be really quick. So obviously the A7IV shoots at 33 megapixels, right? So this is a slight bump up from the other 24 megapixels. Do you notice it? I'm gonna say yes. I have actually noticed a difference in my photos and the sharpness. In terms of the quality that I'm getting, it also allows you to crop in on your photos a little bit more. So there's a little bit more leeway in terms of what you can do and your framing. You don't have to get it perfect every single time. I also feel that 33 megapixels is a real sweet spot in terms of file sizes. 24 is lovely, it's great. As soon as you go 33, those file sizes start getting a bit bigger. And then as soon as you upgrade a little further, obviously getting to the higher tier cameras, we're getting to the 61 megapixels size. So you can still have a lot of photos. So that's just a really quick overview of what I've been up to in terms of the photo side of things. So far, so good with the Sony A7IV. 33 megapixels for me has been fantastic. So now to the video. The video is where this camera really shines. The video is where if you are going to upgrade to the A7IV, you're doing it because of the video. You're not upgrading just for a few more megapixels for your photos. The reason why, 10-bit 422 color. This camera shoots 1080 up to 120 frames per second, and it shoots 4K up to 60 frames a second, all in 10-bit 422 color. In terms of shooting S-Log, S-Cinetone, these are the new profiles that come along with this camera. I've recently been shooting with S-Log 3. Okay, so that's a big step up from what I was shooting with before. I didn't shoot a lot of 4K before on the A7C, and I just use a very basic picture profile. So I feel like I've really stepped it up in terms of my video stuff. Now shooting S-Log 3. A lot of people say they do struggle to expose for the S-Logs, but this camera is fantastic and it has a gamma assist option. So you can get a basic look at what your image is gonna look like as the camera sort of puts a Rec 702 on top of it, just to help you expose in camera. A few other ways to do this would be to use your metering mode and to use your zebras to properly make sure you're nailing that exposure on that S-Log 3. In terms of color grading, it's really simple. You throw on a Rec 709 and you pretty much color grade and tweak from there. I've got some great results so far. I'm super happy with everything. So that has just been my basic experience with that so far. It hasn't added too much to my workflow if I have things I need to get out straight away. I know a lot of people use S-Cinetone as it is a lot less work to color grade, but I've kind of stuck to the S-Log 3 just because I really like the look and what I get out of it, especially the amount of dynamic range that you get from that color profile. The cons. Okay, so there are a few cons, and this is especially for someone who will be upgrading to this camera, maybe coming again from shooting mostly 1080 and then you want to start shooting 4K, especially when you go 4K 60. So obviously, let's start off with memory cards. You guys are going to need to possibly upgrade those memory cards. I'm currently shooting with V60 128 gig memory cards, and I cannot shoot in the highest spec of this camera, but I still can shoot, I think, the one down, which is more than enough for me. I don't need to shoot any higher than that. I'll pretty much show you guys what I'm busy shooting at in my settings in terms of my 10-bit. And I haven't had any issues. Yes, it fills up my memory cards a little bit quicker. The file sizes are quite large when you are shooting, and you do need to have possibly 2 memory cards, especially if you're going to be shooting the whole day or a long shoot. Otherwise, you're going to have to back up as you go on the day, which is never a bad thing to do anyways. So the next thing is going to be when it comes to what you guys use to edit. So this is in terms of your computer. So if you have a computer, generally what I've heard and with my experience, if you have an M1 or M2 Mac, you guys should be good to edit these 4K files. If you have anything lower, which I do have a MacBook Pro. It is a 2015 or 2016 model, so it is one of the lower tier models. It's a good almost 5 or so years old now. So what I basically do is I'll convert all my 4K files into proxies. This basically just adds an extra step to your workflow, but just converting everything to proxies and helping you work through those files a lot quicker is a great way to do it. And then you don't have to look at upgrading your computer or anything like that. You can work with the 4K files, and I haven't had any issues just working with the proxy files. So now we come to the biggest issue with the Sony A7 IV. First of all, let's just touch on the overheating. I haven't had any overheating. I have had no issues at all. Okay, I think all you have to do is up that temperature, so you shoot in the high temperature mode, and then you're pretty much good to go. Again, I've shot 4K, and on all of my shoots I've never had any issues in terms of overheating. The camera has warmed up a little bit, but that's pretty much it. I also haven't shot for extended periods of time. I've shot a few interviews and everything, but again, no issues so far. So now the biggest issue with this camera is gonna be its 4K 60 crop. So this camera will crop in when you shoot 4K 60. This hasn't actually been much of an issue for me. The only time I have had this be an issue is when I'm shooting real estate videos, as you want that very wide. I do shoot on the Tamron 17 to 28 millimeter, but I'll lose that 17 completely, and I need at least 17 to be shooting those rooms. So essentially what I would do with those specific videos is I'll just bring it down. I won't shoot those 4K anymore, which is not a big issue for me as well, because most of those videos kind of just go up onto websites for people to view anyways. So I will still shoot 60 if I want to slow down that footage slightly. Shooting 60, I can slow it down and it won't crop me when I'm shooting HD, and I'm happy to shoot 1080 if I'm shooting a real estate video, as it does generally just go up on a website or something as a walkthrough for people to see. So I don't think they would notice much of a difference anyway. So that's pretty much my experience with the Sony A7 IV so far. Like I said, I've only had it for maybe a month, maybe even less. And that is what I've shot with it so far in my experience. I will keep you guys up to date on anything further I will be shooting. It has been a little crazy in terms of work and everything, which has been fantastic, and I feel blessed that everything has been so busy. We will be heading on holiday this a little later in the month. We will be going to a beautiful place. I will be taking this camera with. I will be shooting some photos and some videos, and hopefully making a bit of a YouTube video on that. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this really quick little wrap up video of my short experience with the Sony A7 IV, and I hope you guys like, subscribe if you guys want to see any more content. I will make an effort to definitely get on here a little bit more, but this was just a quick little catch up. Anyways, thanks a lot guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Just a quick catch up on what's happening in my life and with my cameras and everything. If you guys want to know anything else, please just shout. I'm always happy to make content or make videos that you guys are looking for. Just please leave a comment and let me know what you guys want to see more of. Anyways, I hope you guys take it easy and have a fantastic day.